Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from whatever you're watching this channel. I'd like to start this session by appreciating you so much for making this channel grow. If you wish to support us, just subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Since the very first time we started talking about servers, we have done so many videos here in this analysis, and because viewers kept reminding me that anytime I get information regarding a server, any debate, I should not let it go that easily. And for that reason, I choose to talk about these statements that Gachagua made when it attempted to shoot down the narrative of server audit, a narrative, or rather the item that is enshrined in the bipartisan talks, the items which were agreed upon by the two factions, the faction of the Kenya Kwanza and the faction of the Azimio. Before we talk about what Rigathi Gachagua said, I want to bring you up to speed with what was agreed upon in the joint bipartisan committee. The formation of the bipartisan committee involves a main organ, which is now headed by Ichung'wah and Kalonzo Musyoka, and then there is the technical team. So the technical team was the part of that joint bipartisan committee that was in charge of coming up with the items to be discussed, and they proposed the audit of the server to be one of the agenda there. That's why you find that when they were winding up, that was last week before the African Climate Summit, Ichung'wah talked about IEBC and Kalonzo also talked about IEBC. Gachagua has on the other side been fighting this process. So it has reached a time whereby now he realizes that this issue of a server audit, it's as if Ichung'wah had agreed on it, or rather the faction of the Kenya Kwanza were forced to agree, because maybe during the debate they didn't have points on how they can defend their position, that the initial position was server should not be audited. So that position. So because of that reason, Gachagua decided to take this whole issue by himself again and attack the same committee. And this time round, Gachagua is attacking the aspect of server audit. And he talks about there not being any constitution that allows that server audit. You know, I have listened to so many bloggers and YouTubers talk about this narrative. So many of them talk about server, that Gachagua said servers should not be audited. I have listened to one of my friend and Boniface Dream, and please I'll recommend viewers to also be watching that channel. He's one of my friend and he's a very good person, and he did it also well. So I want to bring another narrative to this issue of server audit. And before I do that, let me share with you what Gachagua said.
Mimi nakubaliana na Mheshimiwa Dede Nyoro. Your Excellency, you know I and many people, your supporters, in millions, were against these talks with these Azimio people. But when you decided we talk, we don't argue with you, we agree. Lakini ile agenda nimeona imewekwa pale kwa mazungumzo rais, we don't agree with it. Ati agenda number 1 is to audit the 2022 general election. How? Those people have no capacity. There is no constitutional provision for anybody to audit a general election. That audit was done by the Supreme Court, and a decision was made, and you are declared validly elected and sworn in as the President of the Republic of Kenya. Sasa hii watu wakutane ati waongee ati uchaguzi ilienda namna gani? That, Your Excellency, we don't agree with, and we would like to ask that.
Yes, from that video, ladies and gentlemen, Gachagua seems to be fearing the process of server audit. That is what I make from that statement from Gachagua. He seems to be afraid of that process. But why is he afraid? I keep mentioning here and maintaining that Kama ulishinda, you don't have to be worried about anything. Nobody's supposed to be worried. If you scored an A, you should not be worried about someone trying to ascertain whether you scored that A. When it comes to system, the process of a system, there is always the stage of audit. Audit ni kitu lazima ifanyike. And mind you, Gachagua talks about Supreme Court auditing. Supreme Court did not audit servers. Supreme Court simply requested the Venezuelan Smartmatec, the company, through the IT people, that the Azimio people be allowed access to that server, which they can audit to ascertain whether there was any malpractice. If you remember very well, the server which was allowed is not the one that Azimio were looking for. So when the Smartmatec people were asked for the correct one, they said that would be a breach or agreement, a breach of A, a breach of B. That is the response that Smartmatec gave. And that they attempted to be very, very smart, talking about copyright infringement. Gachagua should know that that audit never took place. And let me remind you again, and I've always said this, and I'm not ashamed to say it again, because this debate has come up again. The main thing that the IT person of Azimio, the one that I always like to refer to, George Njoroge, was interested in is how those documents were changing from one format to another. His argument was that there must have been somewhere where these forms were received and converted and being relayed to the bombers or IEBC, final server. So this process, that is what George Njoroge, I remember requesting that needs to be audited to ascertain whether if I send A, I get A, or if I send A, I get A plus, A plus plus. A and A plus are two different, and A plus plus is another different one. So it's to ascertain whether when I send A, I get A. I'm not supposed to get A plus. If I get A plus, I should ask myself, where is this plus coming from? So that's why Gachagua needs to understand that the aspect of server audit hata yeye pia tamsaidia, because one day he will want to become the president. Raila Odinga might not vie again, just like we always maintain. But even if he tries to vie again, he has the right. He is not that old. Is he older than Biden? What about Tunu? What about the president of Nigeria? Is he older than him? Is he older than Museveni? Let's just be honest here. Raila Odinga is still energetic and very strong. Is he older than the Cameroon president? Is he? So for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, Raila can decide to vie again or can decide not to vie again. He can decide to front Kalonzo Musyoka, or he can even decide to front Wajakoya, front Matakarua, Eugene Wamalwa. He can front anybody. He can even front Babu Owino. One for sure, I know he can never front Jalango because of what we've always been saying here. The traitor, the character of a traitor. So he'll never front someone like Jalango, But let's just get back to this issue of server audit. The server audit aspect, Gachagua should not look at it from the Azimio's angle, look at it from Raila's point of view. He should look at it from a realistic point of view and a Kenyan point of view, and know that this is something that he himself atahitaji. He will want server to be audited akisha shino na Mudavadi, for example. I'm just saying example. He will want server to be audited akisha shino na Kalonzo Musyoka, ama Wajakoya, ama Matakarua. He will want server to be audited. So what Gachagua needs to embrace now is that which has been agreed upon by the two factions, Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza. But the good thing with the joint bipartisan committee ni kuwa Ichungwa sometimes back said kwamba don't listen to naysayers. People who talk in the streets, people who talk in the corridors, don't listen to them. The only people that needs to be listened are the ones who are in the joint bipartisan committee. And that's why you find that William Ruto ametulia, hana pressure na hizi mambo ya bipartisan. The only person who is pressured ni Gachagua. So we don't know why he's afraid. We don't know why. You know, it's as if something will come out if that audit is done. I am foreseeing a scenario maybe kama hiyo audit itafanyika, basi ni kama kuna kitu tutajua, kitu ambacho tulikuwa tunajua. So I think Gachagua should just relax na ajue kuwa this process is very very important, and that's why in systems huwa lazima audit system. You must audit the system to a certain way, the procedures, those protocols zinaenda vizuri, the standard operating procedures that are followed vizuri, the system is working perfectly. It has to be audited. You know, anything can change. You know, programmers are very funny people. You know, let me just tell you something that can be done. You know, if there is a central storage ambayo ina receive these forms, and then you don't audit the processes, or you don't audit how the system works, someone can decide to inject a code, a small program in the server, IEBC server, something that will change now the flow of that system. Let's just say, for example, if you are in a hospital and your number is 05, that is the OP number you've been given by a facility according to the system, and then maybe the programmer or person who is implemented that system is someone you know, that person can decide to write a small program that says that every time you are billed, your bill should always be half of what you're supposed to pay, or every time you are billed, a receipt is supposed to be automatically generated from the system, ipost pale ili wewe usidaiwe. So that is a small program that can be done. So that's why it's very very important to do an extensive audit of the IEBC system. So Gachagua inafaa relax na ajue kwamba nothing is lost, but this audit of the server ni kitu lazima ifanyike. I don't want to talk about this sana because I know this debate will still come up, because now in the next, you understand that sahi kuna ile memoranda whereby the expectations that views will be collected by the joint committee. That is the last time when they break for the Africa Climate Summit. The idea was that there will be some memoranda signings, you know, with the people, with Kenyans, to, I think, in a bid to capture minds of Kenyans, so that they can soldier on with the debate. So I think sahi process in here, you know, so that process will go on until, I think it was given, I think 1 week, if I'm not wrong, 1 week, less than 2 weeks. I think in a wiki. Then thereafter a report will be tabled, the joint bipartisan committee, and then going forward they will give us a way forward. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to rest my case there, but I'm kindly requesting you to share your comments below the comment section regarding that which Gachagua has called for. And also I'd like to urge you, if you're a first-time viewer or a regular viewer who's not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel. Give this video a like, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Let me remind you, if you give this video a like, it's so important because YouTube gets to share this video to other people who are not part of the audience. So until you catch up again, please stay safe and stay blessed.